Hello everybody, and welcome to NorCal Slot Car Scene. Today we're going to do something just a bit different. I've developed a series of trivia videos to test your knowledge on slot cars. The first video is on general 1/32 scale home track racing for cars like NSR, slotted, and scale electrics. Future trivia videos will include HO scale, vintage racing, and others. If everybody's ready, let's get started. The first question is pretty easy, and it's based on the most popular brand of 1/32 scale cars, Scale Electrics. The question is, what country is Scale Electrics based in? Scale Electrics was invented in England in 1956 by Fred Francis. You get 1 point for each correct answer. Question number 2. In home racing, most cars are 1/32 scale. However, there are 1/24 scale cars available. What brand of track can accommodate 1/24 scale cars? To accommodate a 1/24 scale car, you need close to 4 inches of spacing between the lanes, and Carrera is the only brand that does that. In racing competition, sometimes it's necessary to pause the race in order to get a deslotted car that may come off under a bridge, or there are multiple cars and not enough turn marshals for the track. What word is yelled by competitors to pause the race? At one of my local tracks, you often hear people yelling "spacebar" because that's the key you use to stop most race programs. However, the most common used word to pause a race is track. The Revo Slot brand of 1/32 scale cars have become increasingly popular lately. They're very well made and run extremely well. There is one thing that sets them apart from most other 1/32 scale slot cars. Although somewhat common in 1/24 scale home set slot cars, Revo Slot 1/32 scale cars feature a metal chassis. There are a variety of motors for 1/32 scale slot car racing, including the short can found on Scale Electrics and slotted cars, the long can typically found in some NSR cars, and the flat 6, which is somewhat unique to slotted. Of these 3 motors, which has the most torque? The motor that has the most torque is the long can FK180. The torque is created by the size of the magnets, and you can see here the long can motor has considerably larger magnets than the other 2. Slotted Group C cars are one of the most popular racing classes in 1/32 scale home racing. What motor pod comes standard in all of the slotted Group C cars? Slotted Group C cars come standard with a short can motor in an inline configuration. Slotted Group C cars are extremely easy to drive and very competitive, and one of the most fun classes that I've run. While we're on the subject of inline cars, what is the gear called that an inline car uses on its axle? Spur gears are used on sidewinder and angle winder cars. Bevel gears were used in the early days of slot cars but haven't been seen at all lately. Pinion gears are on all cars except they're not on the axle. So the answer is inline cars use a crown gear. The Racer brand of slot cars features some extremely detailed and high-end collectible slot cars. Their sideways division is probably best known for having a huge variety of cars from what series? Racer Sideways has an extensive collection of Group 5 cars. It makes for a great class in racing. It includes cars like the Porsche 935s, BMW M1s, Ford Capris, Lancias, and many others. One of the clubs that I race with has a class for modern GT cars. Probably 90% of those are NSRs, since NSRs run extremely well and fast. Which car does NSR not produce? NSR does make the Mercedes-AMG that you can see here, the BMW Z4, and the Corvette C6, as well as the Corvette C7 and others. They do not, however, build an Acura NSX. The Pioneer brand of 1/32nd scale slot cars started out with Mustangs and then Camaros in the Trans Am series. However, they've created a series of cars that are somewhat unique. Pioneer has created a niche market with their Legends series of cars. Full-size Legends can be found throughout the country racing on short dirt tracks, short oval tracks, as well as road courses. So, how did you do? Did you TQ and win the race? Were you a front runner? Or do you need to keep practicing? I hope you had fun and tune in next Tuesday for Tuesday Trivia, which will feature HO slot cars. Thanks for watching. This is Jim Rose with NorCal Slot Car Scene.